Basinamkele kwi-inkqubo yethu EVOB Voice of the Bay. Good evening and welcome once again. My name is Percy M. Tonight I am hosting the regional chairperson, who is also the MMC for Infrastructure and Engineering in Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality, MMC Khanya Ngqisha. Also in our show, once more, Councillor Lawrence Throne will be our guest in our segment 4 and 5. Segment 4 and 5. The main focus for tonight's show, will be Nelson Mandela Bay New Coalition. We'll be focusing on Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality New Coalition. Councillor Khanya Ngqisha, once again, welcome, Nkokeli.
Greetings, good person to the viewers at home.
Yes. I understand you are having 8 seats. Am I correct?
In total, the municipality has got 10 seats.
You?
Oh, 8 seats as a EFF in council. Yes,
yes.
We've got 8 seats.
You've
I thought
got
you were talking
8
about
seats.
the mayoral. Yes.
Yeah, you've got 8 seats.
Yeah.
As EFF in the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality.
Correct.
And yet we are watching with interest what is going to transpire from the negotiations that are ongoing in terms of forming a new coalition government in Nelson Mandela Bay. If I may ask, what are the main causes of this negotiation being postponed? There was a meeting which was supposed to sit over the weekend, and yet it was forwarded for yesterday. Again, it didn't sit. Even this afternoon, there was another meeting with the ANC Regional Acting Secretary, Mr. Sphiwo Tshaka. Even that meeting, it has collapsed. Again, it has been set for this coming Friday. What could be the reasons?
Thank you, good person. It's a very good question. And you are asking the right person.
Yeah.
Because at the very same time, I may be the regional chair of the EFF, but we're in government together with these other political parties, and I'm the secretary of the GLU. So I'm at the very center of information. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there's been incorrect information peddling that has been given to yourselves as media to create a state of alarm and panic. And I'm going to set at ease the people of the Metro that there's no fighting that is happening, there's no bickering that is happening, there's no crisis or disagreements that have taken place. The coalition is still solid, we're still united, and we are able to resolve any issues within the GLU platform in which we find ourselves in. The reason for the postponement of the meetings was simply on the basis that the ANC had requested to the GLU that their provincial leadership forms part of the GLU meeting that will conclude upon the mayoral position. So some of the provincial leaders of the ANC have been not available or they've had certain commitments that they could not get out of, and hence there had been postponements. But we'll meet again on Friday, and there will be no further postponements. We'll conclude on this particular matter of mayoral committee, and we'll start working, all of us, with the executive mayor and the deputy executive mayor who've already been elected.
Do you think the ANC is serious about forming this government or this GLU?
Yeah, well, we believe they're serious. I mean, we've already formed the GLU. It's in existence. The reason why there's new negotiations now is on the basis that there's a new elected mayor. And we, as the EFF, elected Comrade Babalolo Bisho as well. And we're working with her. We elected Gary as the deputy mayor, and we're working with him. So we're basically just finalizing the nitty-gritties because there's going to be new role players in the mix, such as DOP. Well, they're already part of the GLU, and we're in talks as well with UDM, and we're going to conclude on that meeting in terms of what should happen to those particular parties. But the ANC is fully committed. I've not seen any reason to feel that we're being misled or anything like that. It's simply on the basis that they've had a request to have their provincial leadership to form part of the GLU, of which Friday that should happen.
Seemingly, you are having some serious differences around the seat allocations. Do you think it was necessary for the ANC to extend the invitation even to other political parties to come and form this new government?
Well, we have always been very clear as the EFF that we want nothing to do with the racist Democratic Alliance, because the Democratic Alliance have got no interest in transforming the economy of this country. We've got no interest to work with the Freedom Front Plus, but if the ANC wants to work with those particular political parties who are economic beneficiaries of apartheid, it is their business, it's their politics. It's got nothing to do with us. But thankfully, within this particular region or province, we've not had such of being imposed with working with those particular political parties who will bring us backwards in terms of economic transformation. The parties that we've been working very well together. Even some of the ANC leaders, by the way, at national level, that would come and visit the Metro, they themselves would say that this is a very politically stable government. The only thing that we need now to stabilize is the administration. There's not been any infights. The only fights that took place, by the way, it was during the first time the ANC was in coalition with other political parties. And we're not part of that. Immediately when the EFF got into the mix, there has been stability.
But the ANC has extended its invitation to parties like GOOD, UDM, DOP.
Yeah, well, they're taking instruction from that nonsensical GNU arrangement that wants to involve DA, Freedom Front Plus, and all of that. If they want to invite those political parties and others, by the way, it is up to them. We don't have an issue with GOOD, DOP. We feel, UDM, DOP, but we feel GOOD is very disruptive. They've been very disruptive in everything that they do, and even in that.
So you have a problem as EFF with GOOD Party?
Yeah, you've been very clear. That councillor, the Throne, is very disruptive, and it's not a person that you'd want to work with if you want stability in a metro like ours. So we've always been very clear in relation to that we want stability.
But what if GOOD is included in this coming coalition government?
They are not included.
Why?
Because there's no stability with GOOD.
Do you have an agreement as other?
They are disruptive.
Do you have a formal agreement with other parties that you are not going to work with GOOD?
We've never had any formal agreements. But what I'm saying to you is that currently, the people that we're working with, DOP is part of the GLU, and UDM, whether GOOD is going to form part of the GLU and whatsoever, that information has not reached my attention. But
let's leave it there.
But we are clear that they are in fact, it's Throne that is disruptive, not GOOD itself, because you've got Mayana there that is very stable.
Okay, we will continue with this discussion around Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality. Let's go for a commercial ad break. Sibuyelela khona sinamkela kwinkqubo yethu VOB Voice of the Bay. Good evening once again. My name is Percy M. I am still with the leader of EFF in Nelson Mandela, who is also a MMC for Engineering and Infrastructure, MMC Khanya Ngqisha. MMC, once again, welcome. MMC, the African National Congress in this time around, they want all the directorates that has to do with the service delivery, including the one that you are occupying. And yet there are reports that you are insisting you don't want that to happen. Is it because that you have delivered to the people of Nelson Mandela Bay in this Directorate of Engineering and Infrastructure?
Yeah, well, first of all, Butpesi, all political parties, not only the ANC, would want to have a service delivery directorate because you've got an opportunity to service our people, which is why we've become councillors to begin with. Now, when it comes to the directorates that occupies the EFF, yes, we have the firm belief that we're doing our job and we're doing more than we are supposed to even. I mean, within INE, infrastructure and engineering specifically, we've reduced the number of sewer spillages that are taking place. We are replacing the old infrastructure of piping. There's currently work happening now in Motherwell in Ward 58 of removing old pipage, and this is what we are doing. We're deliberately setting aside money to change the old infrastructure so that there's no spillages of sewer. And so these are the things that we are doing deliberately in order to service our people. But the issue of directorates and which political party has which one, it's something that will be taken through negotiations. Hence, we are going to have our meeting, we are going to sit like adults, and we are going to persuade each other up until we agree. But it's not much, it's not a drastic change that is going to happen. It's more or less the same type of government that you'll have that existed in the previous setup arrangement. So it'll just be a minor switches and changes here and there, but those will be concluded in the meeting on Friday.
Let's look at the Directorate of Electricity. Are you also doing well in that directorate?
Yes, we are doing well, Butpesi, but we are not going to shy of to the fact that, remember, we're coming from an era where informal settlements mushroom continuously due to the fact that our people are still not economically liberated. And we continuously state that in 1994, we only achieved political freedom. There's never been economic liberation. And hence the EFF was formed to attain economic freedom for our people in our lifetime. So informal settlements, for instance, currently now there's 156 informal settlements. Previously, the number was less, but they continue to grow. And as informal settlements exist, we need to provide them with electricity. And our people will protest because the municipality takes long, and we are dependent on funding and grants that we receive from National Treasury to be able to provide particular services to our people. So, I mean, for instance, let me give you a practical example and fact is that the electricity and energy was one of the directorate that spent almost all of their budget. I think it was 96% expenditure when it came to spending, meaning that the money that we have been given, we give to our people and give services to our people. But unfortunately, we're not given enough to be able to service everyone. We need to be able to plan and do these things in phases.
But there are a number of outages around the Nelson Mandela, especially in electricity. Why there is so much challenges around the issue of electricity? And yet that directorate, it falls under your political party, EFF. And people are complaining that they are suffering. They are suffering, especially in this issue of electricity and other infrastructure and engineering related matters.
No, Butpesi, we're not perfect, but we provide the service with what we've been given. Of course, there's going to be outages. For instance, there's been a flood which affected the entire Nelson Mandela. Infrastructure of the municipality was damaged, not only in electricity, but electricity suffered the most losses because some of our infrastructure runs underground. And when you have a lot of water like we've had in the recently, there's going to be damages to that old infrastructure which is under electricity and energy. But we act swiftly and we act fast to try and ensure that our people are able to have power. There's also illegal connections of which we do not condone, but we understand, because our people are poor, they want dignity, and you get dignity through electricity. And therefore, when you connect illegally, it puts pressure on the grid, and you have outages in some of the areas as a result of that. So these are the problems which the root of all problems in actual fact, Butpes, it's poverty, it's economic oppression. And if you do not deal with economic oppression, our problems are going to continue like this. We are just going to be putting an elastic band and not dealing with the root of the problem. That is why you won't have such problems in Summerstrand or Lovemore Heights and these other areas where there's DA constituency. DA does not deal with these particular problems because they are fine. They've benefited very well from apartheid, and it's not their issues. These are our issues. And that is why we continuously to put pressure on the ANC that you need to expropriate land so that you can be able to distribute it to our people. Our people can be able to not live congested like animals, but they may be able to have a lot of space. You provide them with proper infrastructure as well, and you are able to bring proper, good quality services to our people.
Yes, there are a number of informal settlements that we have visited in the past, but people of those informal settlements, they are still waiting for the promises that the municipality have made of building of toilets. When are you going to build the toilets?
We're building toilets now, Butpes, as we speak.
Which areas are you busy with now?
In Woma Ward 4, we're busy. In
What about the
Malapa,
people of Kareha?
in Kareha?
Yes.
Yeah, we're busy. Let me take you through what is happening.
Take me through.
Since 2018, there's not been any single flushing toilet that has been built here in this metro. When the EFF entered into government and we took over infrastructure and engineering, we fought tirelessly to ensure that contracts are put in place. Because to put a contract in place, you have to go through red tape, those committees that take forever. We were able to ensure that takes place and those contracts are sealed. So recently we've got contracts now, we've got service providers that have been allocated in all clusters. In 4 clusters. We're still going to conclude with the 2, including Kareha, to build these particular toilets. So there's consultants that are allocating space, and they are dealing with all the administration to ensure that flushing toilets are built for our people. In Ward 4, they've already started. By the way, personally, I've gone and physically seen and visited those toilets that are currently being built. And the people of Ward 4 are extremely happy because since 2018, there's not been any single flushing toilet that has been built. My predecessor, that guy of the DA who wishes that he was
Your
still
colleague?
an MMC. I
Your
forgot
colleague?
his name. He's like ward councillor of Ward 1. Suffers from an ambition to lead continuously, although he's not leading.
Why do you call him that man instead of using a colleague?
No.
He's your colleague.
Yes, he's my colleague, but I forgot his name. But he never initiated anything to deal with building of flushing toilets. It's only when the EFF got into that directorate, we're now starting to bring dignity to our people.
For the last time, we are going for an ad break, Councillor Nqisha. Sibuyile kwakhona sinamkela kwinkqubo yethu i-VOB. Good evening once again and welcome to Voice of the Bay with myself, Percy M. I am still with the leader of the EFF at a regional level, Upper Kumandla Mandela, that is Nelson Mandela Bay, MMC Kanya Nqisha. MMC, you have been in this coalition for more than 18 months. Is that so?
Yes.
And yet you have been leading this very budgeted infrastructure and engineering portfolio or directorate, and also you are chairing the Portfolio Committee of Infrastructure and Engineering. Is that so?
That's correct.
Is that true that for the entire 18 months, you have called only one standing committee meeting according to Good Party Councillor Tron? Is that true that for the
No.
past 18 months, you have only called or convened only one? And why it is like that, if it is true?
No, that's incorrect. Once again, you must look at the source of information. Tron is like an FBI agent, wannabe crime buster that watches too many movies, that will give you fairy tales time and time again. Hence, his organization and political party dropped dismally during elections, whilst the EFF grew by 9,000 votes or so. During that, it was a misconception, by the way. We said, the last time we said, I know what you are talking about, we said in December, and the following year it was election time. Now, when it's election, political parties that are serious about election are focusing on organizational work. So when our organization calls us to a political meeting, we go because we want to take over government. Whilst Councillor Tron was busy at police station taking videos, thinking that is an FBI agent and doing crime busting and whatnot. He's not busted any crime up until now, wasting that time. Hence, they dropped dismally. They were not focusing on elections. So we had to focus on elections. Hence, even the speaker called a recess so that political parties can focus on elections up until elections were done. After elections, only then we started to call committee meetings. You can call and talk to those councillors that are forming part of that committee. Every time there's a date on the calendar, we sit without postponing any meeting. We had to chase Councillor Tron out in one of the meetings, by the way, because he wanted to cause a havoc and create drama. And me, I don't take those that type of conduct. I throw you out and call security. I don't waste time because you need to conduct the business of the day.
Have you done that?
Have we done what?
Did you call the security for Councillor Tron?
Yes. If you are disruptive in a committee meeting whilst you are dealing with service delivery issues, and if you want to disrupt us, we are going to throw you out. We are very clear about that. Unapologetic Budpesi. And he decided to leave because we are going to throw him out.
But what if he was expressing his views?
You express your views, Budpesi. You are allowed to do that, but you must not be disruptive to the detriment of other councillors. He even called another councillor of the DA. He said, shut up you, those types of languages he was using.
But we are repeating what has been done to your political party at a national level.
Which is what exactly?
The EFF, because you were complaining about the speakers who were biased towards other political parties and don't want to listen to your members of the parliament at a National Assembly.
No, at a National Assembly, Budpesi, they were fighting about matters of national importance.
Did you like what was done to your political leaders at the National Assembly?
Let me give you context. At a national level, by the way, of which, in fact, I shouldn't even be talking about it because it's national leaders that must give you context. But I'm going to give you a simple context because it's public knowledge. For instance, we were fighting the issue of Zuma, the former president of
whatever context that you are coming up with.
Yes, but I'm giving you context.
But did you like what was done to the EFF leaders?
Yeah, but we're not in a classroom where I'm going to say yes or no. I must give you first context. The context is that, for instance, we were fighting the misuse of public funds when the swimming pool was made to
be. It's a pity we are running out of time.
Yes,
Chief.
yes. But did
you like?
But there in our committee, the reason why he was thrown out was because he was rude to other councillors. The EFF was never rude to other councillors. We always challenged the speaker and things like that.
Okay. Are you prepared to release the directorates that the ANC feels that now is the time for them to lead? Like the one that we are leading in electricity, are you prepared to release?
It's a matter of negotiations, Budpesi.
Is it not going to be easy for you to release?
We will negotiate on Friday. I can't say we are prepared to release I&E. The ANC will also state, if they
Okay.
want I&E, they will state as to
Before
the
we
reasons.
proceed
We'll
on
apply
this,
our minds
before
and
we
take a decision.
proceed on this matter, Councillor Nqisha, out of 10 marks, award yourself the mark that you deserve out of 10 mark in your directorate that you have been leading for the past 18 months.
We'll give ourselves 8 out of 10, Budpesi.
On electricity?
We'll give ourselves 8 out of 10. We've done the best with what we've been
Let's
given.
talk about just before we wrap it up. Let's talk about what is happening in the EFF. Let's not talk about national, but let's talk about the region that you are leading. Your predecessor. Can you remind me who is your predecessor?
Mr. Matak.
Mr. Matak. He has left the organization.
Yes.
And yet, he cited one thing, that EFF is no longer the EFF that he has joined. You are so slow in terms of doing things in the EFF.
Well, that is a sign of ill discipline. For him to have uttered those words is complete ill discipline. The EFF has grown by close to 10,000 votes. So if he's saying that the EFF is slow, we must go and look at the stats in terms of growth. Whilst most political parties decreased in terms of votes, in terms of elections. So it means we are doing something right here in this region. And also, every person is free to join whichever political party they want, but some of us are loyal, and loyalty Budpesi is above everything. Some of us will leave EFF. EFF is inside our blood. When we open the boot of our cars, there's EFF regalia. When we on our WhatsApp groups, it's EFF. When we talk to people on the phone, it's EFF comrades. You can't picture a life without EFF. So if some of other comrades immediately, when they lose positions, they want to become disloyal and make utterances that will want to reverse the gains that we've made as the EFF, it's total, complete ill discipline. And if he's chosen that direction, it's his wish. We're not going to stop him. We're not going to stand in his way. We are going to continue building the organization in Nelson Mandela Bay. The MK in Nelson Mandela Bay is no threat at all because we are going to continue to grow and grow up until we take over the local government. History has taught you, we work, Budpesi, we are workhorses. We are not celebrity people that you'll find in finesse or you'll find in these places of having a nice time. We are humble people. We are, with our ground forces, we are working continuously, even during elections. That is what we did, and hence the growth of the EFF in Nelson Mandela region. You're not going to find us doing false crime busting with no results and pretending to be work. It's laziness.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Nkokeli, Mr. Khanya Nqisha. We wish you all the best. Siyabulele Nkosi kakhulu ngexesha ositike lona.
Thank you very much, Budpesi, and to the viewers at home as well.
Doza kuthi luphela njalo ke lo dliwano-ndlebe naye uCouncillor Khanya Nqisha. That's how we come to an end of our interview. 30 minutes interview with MMC of Infrastructure and Engineering in Nelson Mandela Bay. He's also a regional chairperson of the EFF in Nelson Mandela, Khanya Nqisha. After the ad break, Councillor Lawrence Stroon. Siwile kwakhona sinamkela kwi-inkqubo yethu iVoice of the Bay, VOB. I am now joined by a good provincial leader who is also a councillor in Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality. He used to be a Safety and Security MMC, Councillor Lawrence Stroon, but now he's just a PR councillor. Good evening once again, Councillor Stroon.
Good evening, Percy. Always nice being here with you.
Yes.
Hope we'll have a great show. Ask me the most difficult questions you want.
Councillor Stroon,
Yes.
let's first start with the issue of a new coalition
Yeah.
here in Nelson Mandela Metro. Mr. Kanya Ngqisha was sitting where you are sitting right now, responding to a number of questions that have asked him to respond to. Seemingly, this new formation, you won't form part of it, according to the statement of Councillor Ngqisha, who is also, I think, is the chairperson or the secretary of that committee. How true is that?
Look, firstly, Percy, I think that that the viewers must bear in mind that we were approached by the ANC, about 2-3 weeks ago. The deputy chairperson of the province of the ANC, MEC,
Mr. Mvoko.
Mvoko was there, and Uchaka was there from the region.
Acting regional
Yes,
secretary.
So what they said is that the ANC intends to take over the mayorship, and they wanted to know whether we would support them there. So we said yes, because I was always of the view that the ANC must have its own mayor, because you know how I felt about Gary. Now, what Mvoko and them told us is that they are going to come back to us after those engagements. There was nothing spoken about any positions. I find it strange now that Ukanya wants to give this GLU of them that authority to determine who is going to be part of this new coalition. I do not know whether the ANC has outsourced that function to the EFF and those people on the GLU. But from the Good Party, we are still waiting for the ANC to come back to us and decide whether they want us or not. Tina, we are not desperate to wanting to be in any coalition. I've always said, as the opposition currently, and I would also say, people can regard Good as the only opposition that we currently have in council. Even though we've got one seat, we are the ones that raise the matters that most hurt. We are the ones that speak about fraud and corruption. You've never heard the EFF ever address questions of fraud and corruption. So we are not worried whether we're in or whether we're out, But as I say, I've never known that the ANC has outsourced the powers of the new coalition to be determined by Kanya Ngqisha, and he's I'm very much surprised today. I think what you need to do is to contact the ANC and ask them, are they the ones who's going to determine how the new coalition is going to look, or did they outsource that to Ukanya Ngqisha?
Another thing that he has added is the issue of your behavior.
Yes. Right.
The issue of your behavior, stating that no one is prepared to associate or work with people with the bad behavior that you are always displaying.
Very much. No, thanks very much for that, Percy. Yes. He says that I am disruptive. That is the words that he used. I agree with him. I am very, very, very disruptive when it comes to fraud and corruption. Abanye, they said there, like Stunzelas. I'm the only councillor that raises fraud and corruption in this municipality. No one has done that. When he speaks about this bad behavior, he must be the last person to talk. In September of 2022, when we had changing of government, Percy, we had that voting box there where all of us had to vote. Ukanya went and he grabbed the box. He wanted to tear up all of those ballots. He's the rudest person that you can ever get. You must remember, he was the one who went and opened charges against Gary van Niekerk at Umud. Yakumbula. He went to go and open charges against Gary. We must wonder, why is he now so married to uGary namhlanje. And it is a person that went to go and open charges there. Furthermore, Percy, let us speak about this directorates that he says that they got eight out of 10. It is clear, my friend, you're speaking with a person who has no clue about good governance. Number one, let's come to like electricity. The ED of electricity, uMagalela, has resigned midstream. He did not complete his term. The SIU have set up tent at that department of like electricity. It's the worst corruption that is taking place is at electricity and energy. Number three, we are also aware that there's a company that they want to bring from Emont in East London. They want to piggyback, use that thing they want to piggyback on that contract there in East London for your floodlights and your like LED lights. We know what's going on, Percy. It is the worst performing of all of your departments. As we speak now, in Arcadia, there's no like electricity for the last 2 weeks. Nothing. The people are phoning me every day. So it's clear you're speaking about a character that knows nothing about good and clean governance. Let's come to infrastructure. You had it wrong when you said I said that they had only one standing committee in 18 months. What I said, our last standing committee was in December last year. For 9 months up until August, there was no standing committee. He comes and lied to you and say no, they were busy with this like election things. All of the other standing committees, they met on all of the days that they had to meet. When we asked him, why did you never call any standing committee? He refused to answer. Here you have a person that's in charge of one of the most important departments in the metro, infrastructure. He never had the need to have one standing committee during all of those months. My advice to the ANC would be this, because you see, there are these political parties, and fortunately I can speak the way I want to because I am not beholden to any position, and whether we're in or out, it doesn't matter to us. What the ANC must do, because we have to do here with the betterment of the lives of our people, per se. They must say, Chonga Wena Kanya, you don't want to give off this Department of Infrastructure and Electricity. Let us assess what did you do for the 18 months that you were there, for the 2 years.
He gave himself 8 out of 10.
Man, you can't take him seriously, please.
We'll talk more after the commercial ad
can't
break.
take him serious.
We are going to talk more after the commercial ad break. Let's go for the last time for a commercial ad break. I am still with Councillor Atrun until 8 o'clock. Senamkela kwakho kwinkqubo yethu EVOB Voice of the Bay. Councillor Trun, welcome once again. Councillor Ngisha, one of the things that he has mentioned, they are busy under his directorate building some toilets in Woma Township. That is what for. They are also busy working very hard in Kareha, building toilets in some of the informal settlements there. In terms of electricity, he warned you that stop talking lies about his political party's performance in government. They are doing a lot of work. Hence, he awarded these 2 directorates under the EFF, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, both engineering and infrastructure and electricity. both 8 out of 10.
Firstly, Percy, speak to the ward councillors of the ANC and of the DA. I'm sure those ward councillors would give him 0. You are dealing with a person here that wants to use the media for him to remain in his positions. He's a very desperate person. You can ask any 10 people in this metro how they grade those 2 departments of the EFF. And I'm very confident that you won't get more than 3 out of 10 people that would say that they are doing a good job. You'd also take note that he's blaming now, like apartheid. Aye man, we're tired of that thing of apartheid. If you can't perform in your department, Percy, take your conny bags and leave. But he won't, because he's there for other purposes. What we also know about infrastructure, and I've raised this thing to Mr. Barry Martin. There's a tender going out for the installation of water meters. They took this, like particular companies' specifications, and they're using that to put the tender out. Now that is not supposed to happen, Percy. A tender that goes out is supposed to go out so that every company that deals in smart meters must be able to compete.
Was the tender advertised?
I'm not quite sure, but I do have it with me. I've sent it to Mr. Martin, and he did not come back to me. He read the message and he did not come back. But we are very much aware of it, and we are going to take it to the necessary people.
Are you going to open a case?
100%.
Because he always says you like to make some visits at Hillmont Police Station.
Yes, no, it's right. That's why I'm saying, that's why I am disruptive. I can really pride myself in. There's no councillor here that fight fraud and corruption like me and the Good Party. No one. So, he speaks about the stability of this coalition that was there. Yes, they were stable, but the people of Nelson Mandela Bay were suffering. Hence, the African National Congress said to themselves, even though there's this like stability that he's speaking about, the things are going backward. And they've decided that they are going to take over like mayorship. And we have supported the ANC on that. My advice to the ANC is this. They must not let any of these parties come and threaten them about positions. If they want to take these positions that has to do with your service delivery, they must take it. Because the ANC's got wards. They've got wards. Elena, he does not have a ward. I don't have a ward. You see? Speak to ANC councillors, to the ward councillors. They will tell you what the problem these people are. They don't give a damn for the department. And as I repeat again, which person that believes in good governance would for 9 months, while the other standing committees continued, he never had the decency to continue with his standing committee. So when the ANC comes, whatever they say, we are fine with it. If they want us to work with them, we will work with them. If they feel that they don't want to work with us, we will continue as the only opposition that this part, that this council has.
But it worries me, Councillor Throne, that you are not invited in this previous meeting, including the meeting which was today, where UDM and DOP was present.
No, that's not a train smash, Percy. And what you must remember is this GLU, it's a GLU of Abokanya and them. He told you now that he is the secretary of the GLU. We never had engagements with the GLU. We had engagements with the ANC in the province.
But
So we must not be distracted between what this GLU of Kenya is doing and the GNU. My understanding, after the election of our executive mayor, this GLU, it came to nothing. It was dissolved, according to me. But yeah, look, because he's got these vendettas against people, he wants to use the GLU to keep out whoever. I'm not bothered at all. The ANC must come back to us because we had our talks with the ANC. And if they come back to us Percy, and say, I threw it, like man, we are going our own way, then say, bye-bye, Tina, we will continue with being the opposition of Nelson Mandela Bay.
so if you are not included, you will work very closely with your old friends, the DA, the ACDPs.
No, Sheikh Dohana, please. Don't count me in by the DA. Ne? For me, wherever there's wrong, ne, I address it. Whether it's the DA or the ANC, like now, I'm not with the DA. I am by myself, my friend. I am providing leadership in council by myself, not for the DA or ACDP and so on. No. The DA, they must speak for themselves. ACDP must speak for themselves. I'm speaking on behalf of our party because many people, officials, residents, everyone comes to us when it comes to fraud and corruption and questions of equity and all of those things. They come to us as the good party. So you must never again put me in the same pot like with the DA.
So
I'm not with the DA, I'm with the good party.
So you don't have any working relations with the Democratic Alliance?
Nothing. No. You must remember that once we were kicked out, then they went their way, all of us went our way. I am fighting in council on behalf of the Good Party, not on behalf of the DA. But what I want to say, even though Good has one councillor, we run circles around the ANC and around the DA.
Some people say when you congratulated the newly elected executive mayor, you even hugged her. To them, that was the sign of desperation because people know you that you are not that such a person.
Shame, Tohana. You know, Percy, you should have come to my 60th birthday. At home and at work, I am differently. Myself and Lobisha come on long. We were together councillors at the ANC. You must remember, Ukanya is a Johnny come late in politics. He only entered politics now in 2021. No one of us heard about Ukanya before that. Me, I think when I was in politics, he perhaps just got born. You understand? So in politics, when a person is being elected, you do the mature thing and you go and congratulate. I don't need to be part of their coalition. I'm saying it here. I read today that Mutse said that you guys got about 3 million viewers now. I'm saying it in front of their 3 million viewers. I'm not desperate to be part of their coalition.
Is your party growing in Nelson Mandela?
Our party, Watch 2026.
Is your party growing?
Our party is growing. Watch 2026. You see, then you're going to see. Because many people, Percy, from the township, from the northern areas, acknowledge that Truen is the only one fighting fraud and corruption in this metro. You name me, any other party that fights fraud and corruption the way we do. Can you tell the viewers who's that party?
Who's that party?
There's no party. I'm glad that you're asking who's that party. There's no party. The good party is the only party doing that. And that's why Abanye, they would say, I am like disruptive. Yes, we will disrupt where people are committing fraud.
How did you
and
feel
corruption.
when you were taken out of the committee meeting?
Dirty nonsense. I walked out, my friend. I walked out of my own. It was not only me. I walked out and the DA followed me walking out.
Thank you very much for making time once again,
Always
Councillor
my pleasure.
Lawrence Troon. That's how we come to an end of our show. Nkosini kakhulu ngokuba kunye nathi kwinkqubo yethu EVOB Voice of the Bay with myself. Oh yes, Percy M. Let's do it again tomorrow at Nkqubela FM 97.0. Good evening. Adios, amigos. God bless.